Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BlackOut Gaming TV. It's no Nations Cup for you this time. Instead, we have got the grand finals of UGC Platinum Highlander for you tonight. It is between Samsung Galaxy Gang, as yet undefeated this season, against the team that finished champions of the lower bracket, WASP. I'm CeeJaey. With me tonight is Nijoonen, with John on the camera and production. How are you, Nijoonen?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
I'm good. I'm excited for this game. I mean, my team, strong opinions. We've literally just finished scrimming. We were the pre-game scrim for WASP, so I know the maps that they've been practicing, and this was one of them. They did beat us because our heavy timed out, and we had all sorts of technical difficulties. But it was a close game, and these two teams actually played against each other last week on this map. I'm not sure if you saw any of the people streaming it.
No.
Our tutorial that is the spy for Samsung Galaxy Gang, he actually streamed it. And I'm not sure who picked this map, but during that stream, I was complaining about not knowing the map. My team played Samsung Galaxy season on this map, and we only lost 5-3. And for that, they 4 rounds during the entire season. 3 of those were against us on this map. And they dropped a few rounds on it against WASP last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if WASP picked this map, thinking they would be able to get one over the undefeated team so far.
Like the Russians in general prefer steel, so I'd place a right hand that steel was the pick of WASP. Like all the Russian teams, Russian Highland team, and like different Russians team, Poppable, they all like steel for some strange reason. And it looks like you're getting DDoS or something, because your microphone is doing that weird thing again.
John?
Can't you swap mumble? Can't hear you either. Nope.
Am I audible to you?
Now I can hear CeeJaey at least. Couldn't hear Jonas yet.
I assume we're still live.
Can't hear you either.
Okay.
Guess I should pull up stream chat. Sounds like a wise choice.
Hello? I'm live. Okay, so it looks like I'm live. We will beat the DDoSers, guys. We'll beat the DDoSers. We're having technical difficulties because people seem to be targeting the mumble because they don't want this glorious game of Highlander, the superior game mode, that's right, I said it, to be casted. So we'll do the best we can with what we've got. It's about to start. The game's about to start. Looks like we are live. So this is the. I'm going to start again, guys. This is the UGC Platinum Highlander Grand Finals. The EU version, NA version will be casted later on, I'm sure. This is EU for now. This is Samsung Galaxy Gang in the blue versus WASP in the red. And right at the start, we're seeing a big jump in from the soldier here, and he gets totally shut down. I'm trying to look at the names. That is Mr. Epic on soldier for some reason. Doesn't seem right at all, but he gets destroyed there by trucks. And it seems pretty equal so far. Health is pretty bad, but Clefsass goes down to solid. A headshot comes out there from the sniper, and Galaxy Gang have got total control of this. I have been told that this map choice was from Samsung Galaxy Gang. So totally wrong in my estimations earlier that WASP might have picked this, and it looks like Galaxy Gang have picked this. They think this is the map, and they're 100% Uber coming into second now. I have been joined by Nijoonen. Hopefully our issues have been sorted. My friend, how's it going?
It's wonderful, and I was correct. You stand corrected. But yeah, my money's on Samsung for this Gullywash game as well. Two good death matchers, basically. And Fancy Brick was playing heavy again, apparently he's taking some sort of heavy break, otherwise not playing for England, perhaps.
Yeah, the Uber comes in straight away from Galaxy Gang now, but great work by Crow, just pushes that Uber back, but the focus is definitely onto the sentry. Gets taken down. Bugser is also done the demo, and the quick fix comes out from WASP, which is good. It's going to keep those heals alive for WASP, but ×3 on the cap, and Mint and Solid end up just capping the point, and that's it. That's 1-0 to Galaxy Gang. I'm just going to go over the rosters quickly. Galaxy Gang in the blue, we've got Tutorial on Spy, Solid on the Sniper, Sprayer on Medic, Mint on NG, Breakfast on Heavy, Atomic is Demo, Steve Panda is Pyro, Mr. Epic is playing Soldier by the looks of it, with Kisakala on the Scout. Full of Prem talent, as you can see there, and again we're seeing Bugs go down straight away to Mr. Epic. But then Morg gets a headshot onto Breakfast, so equal picks coming in from side by side from both teams. This is very passive, don't you think, Nijoonen? Like, pretty much holding in the chokes.
Yeah, that's kind of danger. If you lose your demo early, it's either commit fully or back out, and back out is usually the smartest choice, since demo is more or less what you gotta play around on Gullywash mids.
Yeah, we
However,
got.
I'm still trying to just choke, which is, yeah, Bugser comes in time. If Samsung Galaxy Gang would have been a bit faster, perhaps they could have denied that and rolled in second. However, this is the safe choice.
Yeah, Ubers have been exchanged here, and Crow just pushes Atomic down into the pit. So he's down in the drop down. But then the Pyro and Pyro battle, but the Heavy comes in, and there are kills happening on the flank. Nesh and Trucks getting a couple of kills each there. But no, Breakfast is just forcing his way in through the choke, tanking those heals and just dealing so much damage. Takes down Olba, the engineer. And now we're going to see a little bit of a stalemate here. I mean, it's probably not in their nature, but really the pressure is on WASP now. As I say that, Bugser gets a pipe kill, and it looks like we have a pause. For the life of me, I hope this is a pause. Oh, and we're back live. It's all good, panic over. But yeah, I mean, the pressure's now on WASP. I mean, a few minutes in and they're already 1 round down, 5 CP, they can just kind of chill on midpoint and wait for WASP to have to push.
Indeed, they're kind of stuck here.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Uber though. And pause again? No?
Yeah, it looks like we're having a couple of pauses, and maybe that was just to let someone back in. I'm not sure. But I mean, if you were in Galaxy Gang, you were among this team, what would your call be here? Would you want to push Uber versus Uber? Would you want to say, let's go in, let's push into second? Or would you just chill and wait for a pick and wait for WASP to try and push you in?
First, I'd like to try to play around Solid as sniping, just to get him to permanent 185 HP and try to get a pick big door. If they don't pick big door at all, or even more stalemate, probably just trade Uber, single Steve, get a force out of WASP, try to get Steve to force them to split the Uber, to save a demo who's too close or something along those lines, and then just basically reset it and non-Uber, and then once again try to get a pick with neither team having an Uber, or play an advantage after the Ubers have been forced for both teams.
It looks like we do have a pause now. So maybe there's some people having some issues, and we're just getting a few pauses to sort this out. But yeah, at the time, I mean, at the current moment of the pause, we are seeing Atomic and Sprayer closer towards Big Door, this Big Door area on the flank. So maybe they're thinking of using their Uber there and just forcing their way through, getting some kills. I'm hearing some people saying that it is a DDoS, so it's a DDoS onto the server now. So there are some kids out there who are desperate for us to not enjoy Highlander. They can't grasp how, you know, pyro mains and spy mains, they need their format, and here we are. But although we did have the sixes get DDoS the other day, so maybe it's just all TF2 and there's some anti-TF2 people out there. But we can give us time to go over the WASP roster now. Nesh is on the Scout, Trox on Soldier, Crow will be playing Pyro, Bugs are on Demo, Anti2 is on Heavy, Olba is on NG, Clefsas is the Medic, Morg the Sniper, and Kostil is the Spy. And I don't know, for anyone who doesn't know Highlander, WASP is one of the oldest, the closest teams that's been around. I mean, they've been through every division in ETF12 from Div 6 all the way up to Prem last season. They finished 5th last season, if my memory serves me, and they did fairly decently against, you know, picking up points against High Panda and such. And in UGC, they've played, you know, Silver, Steel, and they finished in Platinum. They finished 2nd twice before now. They've been runners-up on 2 occasions in UGC Plat. They've never won it. So hopefully they're thinking 3rd time lucky here tonight, or will they be getting 2nd place medals again? But they have been, I mean, they're a close-knit team. I've scrimmed against them a lot. I'm sure you have, Nijoonen, and as well, you know, this is essentially the majority of the Russian lineup, with some Ukrainian players mixed in who also play with their country. So they've been scrimming a lot. They've got a lot of practice. I mean, the cohesion's there. I mean, would you agree, like, that these is one of the most kind of organized teams around?
Yeah, for sure. And like all these Russians team have like a player base of like, I don't know, 20 to 25 players, like go around different teams, I assume, or like some kind of dramas or relationships that causes these players to rotate around a bit. But it's like kind of tight-knit group of players. And on the other side, Samsung Galaxy Gang is like purely a mix, but with outstanding players on each and every class. So it's kind of the team versus the group of highly skilled players. It should be interesting, and like that really serves WASP good on a map Steel, and it serves Samsung Galaxy really good on a map like Gullywash, which is highly deathmatch oriented.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you a little bit of inside info that, yeah, Samsung did pick this map as their map. They are 1-0 up. We may be moving up to a different server and setting that up. I'm not sure. We have lost connection for now. So at the moment of talking, we were about 4 or 5 minutes into the game of the 2nd round. Samsung Galaxy Gang taking that 1st round in a very, very quick roll all the way to last. So they are 1-0 up. And this map is CP Gullywash, picked by Galaxy Gang. WASP have picked CP Steel. I'll talk about that again in a moment, with the decider being just picked by UGC as King of the Hill Viaduct. So we're going to see, we're not going to see payload tonight. We are going to see different game modes in each map. We're going to see, you know, this is a 5CP. We're going to see an attack defend, and if it goes to a 3rd map, we'll be seeing King of the Hill. But Steel is a map that, you know, me and you, we've talked about this a lot in our previous casts, especially in the Nations Cup. Union, where, you know, the lower team, that, you know, the team that would be considered an underdog, let's say, has a better chance on Steel if they have tactics. But on the other hand, I saw Russia absolutely blitz through Ukraine in the Nations Cup groups stage match earlier on in the month, and I think they did it in about 1 minute and 30 seconds or something ridiculous like that. So obviously these guys have practiced it. I mean, do you think WASP would be favourites in that map, or just having a better chance?
Yeah, better chance, of course, on still, absolutely, like everything you said is absolutely correct. And worth noticing with the Russia versus Ukraine game is that I spoke to Nesh, who's playing Sniper, I believe, for Ukraine, or Scout, mostly Sniper, I believe, and they were totally aware that that's what Russia is gonna do. That's what they scrimmed. They basically scrimmed E-pushes for like 1.5 week, only E-pushes, so I find it really strange because E-push, it's not that complex. But like Ukraine saw it coming and yet they didn't manage to counter it. That just tells how basically good they are at playing a fast and aggressive steel game. So I'd probably hand steel towards WASP. The things that talks against it is that all the players are experienced enough in some Galaxy. They've played against a lot of E-pushes, and they've probably played against most of these Russians on steel while they're doing E-pushes as well. So they should see it coming, and they should have the skill to be able to deny it. However, Ukraine didn't have it, and perhaps these players in Samsung Galaxy Gang will have it.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the roster of Galaxy Gang, it is filled with Prem talent, the likes of Atomic having won the title the season before with Chess Club back in season 7. Sprayer playing for High Panda, your team, as a medic. Breakfast Junior playing Chess Club, again, double winners. They won the Premiership this season. So, I mean, there's all sorts of talent in that team. It's just, it's essentially a Prem mix, but players that have played together and players that know this game. And that goes by their record so far this season. They've won every game this season. None of them, a lot of the games, they didn't lose any rounds. The only rounds they've actually lost so far this season, I'm looking at their kind of results, just as people are filtering back into the server now. Looking at the results, they dropped 3 rounds to Strong Opinions in week 2. Then they didn't drop any more rounds until week 7, where they dropped 1 round on Glassworks to Super Dickmans. And then the only other match they've dropped rounds was last week, which was the upper bracket final against WASP on this map. And they won it 5-2. UGC obviously has played first to 5 on 5 CP as opposed to win difference of 5. So they dropped a couple of rounds there. I do believe that was sort of 1 in each half. But in total, they've dropped, 6 rounds? Over the course of the season, 10 wins, 0 losses. It's nothing to be sniffed at. I mean, this is a really, really, really strong team.
Indeed, and like a 5-2 loss, or rather, sorry, win on Gullywash is, those 2 rounds may sound like a lot, but still a 2-5 win is like with a good margin. So that's very good. They're looking strong indeed. With the fact that they lost a couple of rounds to your team, which is, of course is a bad thing to have in your record.
Hey! I mean, we picked up a round off of Steel, off of WASP today on Steel. So
No, I'd say that's more impressive.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, we did scrim the 2 maps against WASP, so got a little bit of insight onto what they were expecting. Looks like we are getting ready to go live, just waiting on the teams to get into the server and ready up. Looking at WASP's season, a couple of blemishes on their record. They have won, looking at the thing, 8 wins. They've got 8 wins and 3 defeats. Those defeats coming up against Galaxy Gang in week 4, against Failer in week 7, and against Galaxy Gang again last week. But they did come through the lower bracket. They did win. They are here in this grand final as we're going back live again. Galaxy Gang in the blue, WASP in the red, and straight away Nesh gets headshot there by Solid. And we're going to see this with Galaxy Gang 1 round to the goods. And it looks like they're playing on the floor, which Galaxy Gang just have total domination right now, even though they don't have the players. I mean, what do you see at this? Like, what are WASP doing? They're kind of holding in their big door. Even though they haven't got very many players alive, they've got the high ground, Galaxy Gang, and they're just controlling this round so far.
Like the scoreboard says otherwise though. Uber exchange coming in, this is gonna favor Breakfast and Sprayer.
Costa is the spy though. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Probably
they're trying to get out,
chance.
and they're being chased by the scout. Nesh deciding against running into the fully revved up heavy there. And Atomic is just spawning now, but Wasp have won this mid-fight, so...
The thing that happened there basically was that Samsung Galaxy were losing players early, and the Wasp kept their players alive, giving them a player advantage with like 2 or 3 players up. So they basically could keep people alive, and it was all good. Bugs pushing through this show, getting with Steve and Breakfast. That's 2 enormously big picks, and probably 2 of the biggest names on the Galaxy Gang roster as well. Still though, Epic going close, Atomic going close to the choke. This is gonna punish Samsung, or should at least.
Yeah, there's players just bleeding on Galaxy Gang here, and the only players left alive at the choke are Atomic and Sprayer. That's the Demo and the Medic, just trying to hold this by themselves, but they could get caught out here. It looks like Wasp are actually going to be pushing through Big Door. Their combo is rotating, and they're trying to maybe put their forces there, I don't know. But now we're back to where...
That was a good rotation from Wasp, really clever. When they know there are quite a few players out for Samsung Galaxy Gang, they know the combo is choke, should really push through the flank there, which they did. Just a little bit too slow and fast rotations from Samsung Galaxy Gang. Nesh putting pressure on Sprayer. Sprayer is really lower.
Steve and Breakfast again got taken down there in the choke. It's caused them to fall back, and we have got Nesh just putting a little bit of cap time, just teasing that point. Gets taken down by the stickies from Atomic. But we are in this kind of, this is totally different to how we saw it in the first server, shall we say, where it was a bit of a stalemate, but Wasp are really taking the initiative here, and they're getting picks, but they're not really taking advantage of it so far. They're getting a little bit of cap time, but they are totally in on the second point, and they've sandwiched the combo in from Galaxy Gang. Morgan and Crow go down, and there are picks happening in favour of Galaxy Gang, even though the positioning favoured Wasp, and they are being chased out and up by now, and Kisakala is just getting right in the face, takes down the Heavy and the NG, and yeah,
this
2 alive.
Steve.
That's
Steve
the
with the
Steve
5k
effect.
as we're making apart, yeah. That was basically Steve and Kissa putting pressure back in. That looked so good for Wasp, like they had really things going for them, and then just suddenly Steve decides to start shooting back, and boom, suddenly it's Samsung Galaxy trying to get into the lobby instead of Wasp getting into theirs.
I mean, we see the difference between the two teams here as Galaxy Gang are just getting aggressive. As soon as they've got that advantage, as soon as they've got that player number advantage, they're just walking forward, holding that W, and getting forward. And Wasp are now on their last, building those level 3 sentries there from Olba. And yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're getting aggressive. Now, Galaxy Gang are in a really good position to get another point here. They've got 100% Uber. There is quick fix being used by Clefsas, but he's even only at 90%. Uber comes in, going to focus that sentry. The sap comes in from Tutorial. Focuses down Morg as well. Great play by the Spy. And there is time on the point. Steve's on the point. No one's going to jump on the point. Bugster takes a pipe, takes him down. And lots of players dying here for Galaxy Gang. Only 3 players alive. And Sprayer finally goes down there to Trox. Gets the double kill onto Breakfast as well. And somehow that pushed it. What happened there?
The gun was being kept up. Alba firstly removed Sapper, which caused a big distraction. Krauk kept them back for starters, so they couldn't get the gun down even though it was sapped. Then basically the gun got unsapped, and the gun denied it. Low health, Crocs pushed up River and got easy kills. This is good for Wasp as well. They could have been slower here and would have been punished on second. However, they were quick enough to get a good hold on choke here, which is good plays from them. Onto the Heavy for the Russians, good down Tutorial. Still, they should be able to hold choke here. However, lots of Samsung players in choke, muscling it in.
Wow, Steve just walks through there, takes down Clefsas. He had a small Uber advantage, but it's just, yeah, it's just knowing your ability. Breakfast is just walking in through the choke so often, and just having that 450 HP Heavy just gunning you down, it just allows the rest of the team to just take that space and move forward with it. And we're just seeing this pure aggression now. 100% Uber. Clefsas isn't up for another 2 seconds.
Crits.
And oh, it's crits. Yeah, I didn't realise. We'll see. They're looking to come on the balcony here. And Clefsas goes down. Body shot from Solid. Oh, and now a no medic again for Wasp, just as Olba gets backstabbed, and the crits comes in. Atomic gets the first onto their Heavy, Trox gets taken down by the laser beams, and they're just going to flood this point now with the crit stickies. Crow deflects them off the point, and it looks like they're going to do a good job of holding this at the moment. Kisakara and Atomic are doing the best.
Gonna go down there. That's a bit strange, but good. Spray flashed a lot. It looked like both Atomic and Breakfast wanted a part of that crits. It should, according to me at least, hold it on Atomic there. However, this is Steve like doing big works for them twice in a row now. By just being fearless and pushing it through chokes, giving them the space they need to break the kind of weak holds and forced holds that WASP are being put into.
Yeah, something I did notice in last week's game was that the DM-wise, Galaxy Gang were just all over WASP, but when it came to pushing last, they really struggled in finding a way to sort of be able to finish things off. And a game that could have been over rather quickly ended up lasting slightly longer, and we're kind of seeing a similar thing here. Clefsus has got 100% on his Medigun. He's using the default stock Uber there. Sprayer is up, and he's still running the Kritzkrieg. I mean, the Uber is used in choke, and wow, Tutorial gets a backstab onto Crow, but Tutorial and Atomic both going down there to Bugzer. And somehow, Clefsus is going to get taken down here. Surely Steve is just WM running, takes him down with the degreaser, and this is just pure DM now on the point, and it's looking to come into Wasp's favour as Solid is the only person up, and as he goes down, that is a wipe.
Two things worth noticing. Tutorial trick stabbed Crow, which is good to keep in mind for further trash talk. And the danger with Samsung Galaxy Gang is that both Breakfast and Atomic are very confident, which they should be on the classes. They're really good at demo respectively. So that could be the danger when they're pushing last, as you mentioned. That both people want to be like aggressive, taking part, getting forward, which could punish them in sake that their Ubers become shorter, their health is more spread out, and they could just be easily focused once WASP can Uber back into them, or just push back and retake the ground that the Uber gave Samsung Galaxy Gang.
Yeah, and you know, a point of note, talking about the overconfidence, we'll come back to that in a minute, just as Galaxy Gang are walking onto last. Galaxy Gang, you know, like we said, they're a Prem mix. They've you know, this isn't an official ETF2L team or anything like that. So they haven't really been scrimming. They haven't been practicing as much as perhaps WASP have, who, like I said earlier, a lot of them make up the Russian and Ukraine national teams. They've been scrimming a lot. They've been doing a lot for UGC, for ETF2L. Just as the Uber comes in now, picked, Sprayer had gone down there. I didn't even catch how it happened. And Nesh is trying to... okay, Nesh is trying to just take the Uber, and he's just going to get onto the point, but so many players down for Galaxy Gang. Surely it's going to be a round now for WASP as they just flood the point, and that's going to level it at 1-1, and pressure now being put on Galaxy Gang on their choice of map.
I'm actually surprised how actually good WASP is playing, and how much Samsung Galaxy Gang is just relying on their big names doing big plays. Like, the only reason this isn't a 3 or 2-0 right now is Steve going big for Samsung Galaxy Gang. And just WASP is playing this really good, and as they should against a team that's better than them on just class by class.
Absolutely, and you know, they're having that confidence, but if it turns into overconfidence, it's definitely going to give your enemies an advantage. Again, we're seeing Galaxy Gang with the good positioning, but they're losing players all over the place, and Breakfast is the last person to go down there. And Sprayer went down again to a flare from Crow, and WASP didn't lose that many players. That means Klafsas has got that 90% Uber advantage. He's going to have a full Uber advantage pushing into last, as Sprayer is about to spawn in 2 seconds, but we're seeing a bit of a reverse in. Like, this is what we saw in the first round, Galaxy Gang doing to WASP, but now WASP are just doing it straight back, and surely that must put the nerves on Galaxy Gang. This is their choice of map. They haven't lost this season. Surely they need to change something, otherwise they're going to be looking at a loss on their first map.
Indeed, and that was just purely bad mid as well from Samsung Galaxy Gang. No play really to good positioning, and WASP just had him as shooting ducks. And this is good, this is looking good as well for WASP. Just need to focus on Breakfast, there's lots of health, there's some positioning.
Lots of players that going down for Galaxy Gang, and it does look like WASP are going to get this, as Kisakawa is the last person alive, and that does mean, it does say 2-0 on the screen, but 2-1. Including that first round that was played on the other server. So 2-1 in favour of WASP now, and it's all to do for Galaxy Gang. This is their choice of map. This is them trying to strike fear into their enemies, and they're behind.
just fast things. Well, last time we saw Galaxy Gang push last, the breakfast, we went in with Atomic. This time Anti-2 stayed on the balcony and just basically dealt out damage throughout the whole last push for WASP and managed to stay alive without taking any heals or anything, purely dealing damage at 90 points from being blocked. So good place to Anti-2.
Yeah, Sprayer there died in the first seconds of that mid-fight. Morg just headshotting him straight out of the blocks. And after getting another one onto Mint, they just decided to hightail it out of their breakfast, craters to Trox's rockets. And Atomic there goes down to Anti-2. There was just, WASP is just dominating at the moment. They have 100% Uber advantage. They're all over second right now. And I'm pretty sure Galaxy Gang are going to want to break a timeout, anything.
This is the Red Army marching. This is all confidence as well. Here, Kong coming in with the Uber advantage. This should be Wasps.
Yes, but they don't get much with the Uber. They take down Solid, the sniper, but there's time on the point. They just put all of their players on the point, and Crow just air blasts Galaxy Gang off the point, 3-1 to Wasp. And we have seen some lightning rounds here, Neen. I'm not sure what's going on. Galaxy Gang need to get their thumbs out and do something. Just, you know, figure out what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, this is also Wasp players stepping up. More getting a 4 kill on first mid. Trox basically winning second for them by his own by chasing down breakfast, keeping a conch up for the last push, and conch plus Uber advantage equals death and destruction. However, Steve going aggressive, chasing Bugster and clefts us into their own choke, and this is turning around now. This is an easy and well played mid from Samsung Galaxy Gang.
Yeah, but Ulp is still on the mid-fight. He's still on the mid-point, and he's blocking this point. Finally goes down to Kisakala, but he didn't took a couple of players with him. And, yeah, I mean, Breakfast is in dodgy ground here. He could try and take down Bugzer, but gets taken down by Crow instead. And Wasp did back out, but they kept their medic alive, and now they have 100% Uber on the mid-point. And it's about Galaxy Gang trying to block this and, I don't know, reverse it. They're just not in a good position here to try and take a round at the moment. Mid-point is going to be capped again by
yeah,
Wasp.
I didn't really hope they lost that. It looked very good. I guess they didn't really check out the flank. Mort was still in big door whilst they were trying to cap mid, while their big players were walking through choke and like winning second from there. So I guess they just kind of failed to control the flank as well as the choke. They took one side but didn't really cover both. On the other hand, full Uber on Clefsus, Solid at Sprayer, sorry, at 60%.
Yeah, but Wasp are losing a lot of players and they haven't used their Uber. Yeah, I mean, stuff's going on and they're just losing players on the flank. And this will be an opportunity for Galaxy Gang to try and make use of it. Kisakala just bonking in front of the combo, trying to distract them a little bit.
Giving up a 50% Uber advantage, or Wasp did. Not very good.
Yeah, that may be the mistake that turns this way. And we're going to have a Uber advantage here. Uber exchange, and lots of flashing on the side of Wasp. And Breakfast is getting most of it, Galaxy Gang, and that's just going to force Wasp to just run away. They know they're not going to be able to fight an Uber heavy. And no cap time, and looks like the spy's going to kill him. Costill gets the backstab, and he gets a double one straight onto Steve as well. And the cap wasn't finished by Galaxy Gun. They had the control of the area, but they didn't finish the cap. And once again, we're not seeing that aggression we saw in the first round.
That's what we talked about earlier. This is Wasp playing together for a long time, doing that with Anti-2, going into bad, like a guaranteed losing heavy fight with Breakfast, losing it, but instantly Costill trades a distracted Breakfast and some other combo class for the sake of Anti-2's death. So that's like a really, really good trade for Wasp, which is coordination and just playing lots together, talking.
Absolutely, we're seeing a really, really small Uber advantage in the hand of Clefsats here. It's pretty negligible, as Spray's at 95 right now. But again, like as we were talking in the first round, once Galaxy Gang went 1-0 up, they didn't really need to push, they didn't really need to force the issue. And now we're seeing exactly the same point now, where Wasp have control of the midpoint, they have Uber, the other team has Uber. They can just sit and chill and defend this midpoint. The pressure is on Galaxy Gang. They're 2 rounds worse off here. They need to start getting some kills and some rounds on the board, otherwise it's going to go wrong for them. But they do get a few picks. Trox, Olber and Costa all going down there. But meanwhile, Morg gets a headshot on Atomic, and that's just going to slow down any sort of push from Galaxy Gang.
And the kills for Raiders, so it's going to be hard to hold without Pyro and Demo. And this should be easy to muscle in for Wasp. However, Wasp seems to favor going through big door. It's not play, but however, it's not really matter. Since they have such a big player advantage. Good exchange here from Breakfast and Sprayer could save second point though, considering how much Wasp slashed the Suba around. Morg seems to show, should be able to have some free picks going on here.
Clefsus goes down to Steve, who also takes down Crow. And Galaxy Gang are just showing their DM worth here, and they're getting a lot of kills. They need to block this point though, but they can't. ×4 on it. And lots of kills. There's only 4 players alive, 3 players alive for Wasp now. And Galaxy Gang should be able to think that they are able to recapture second. Sprayer did get an Uber Saw onto Costil, giving him a huge Uber advantage over Clefsus now, 100%. But he's in such... This is a really dodgy situation. Crow forces, just by walking forward, it's not a good idea to just go alone with your demo. Sticky's on the point, and I don't know what the rest of Galaxy Gang are doing. They finally come out to help their team, but they're just handing the Uber advantage into the hands of Clefsus and his teammates. And there's some ×2 on the point, on last.
Solid saves it there.
Sniper
and Morg is
saving
on a
last.
big streak here, doing really well, getting breakfast twice in a row, I believe.
Yeah, the cap is down for Galaxy, but yeah, Wasp should be able to cap this with Uber advantage in hand as well.
Atomic 21 HP goes down, yeah. This should be Wasp's round as well, if they're fast enough now. Let's get small cap time there and move forward to combo. They shouldn't really wait for spawners here either, they should just go.
And if this does go to a 4th round win for Wasp, that would trigger half time, where UGC played is halves of half an hour, or the first to 4. So as soon as the 4 cap mark is reached by one of the teams, it will trigger half time, and we'll have a little break before moving on to another half to decide who wins this map. This is a best of 3 final. First map being Gullywash, picked by Galaxy Gang. And Costa with the double kill takes down Solid and Breakfast. 2 huge kills.
So
this has been a really good game. Uber comes in though, and Steve is doing the pyro work of his life.
Focused down though.
Yeah, and the quick fix is used, and you're going to be able to push people off the point there, which is a good pick. But only 3 players alive for Galaxy Gang. This is not looking good for them. And Wasp are just going to walk on this point, and they're going to capture it. And that is 4 rounds for them in this half, and that is half time. And 4-1 is the current score to Wasp. Galaxy Gang have it all to do. I mean, what do you see as their problem here? What do you see as their issue?
Probably first time these words in this order has ever come out of any caster's mouth, but I'd say Breakfast is doing a kind of poor job at the moment.
I need to interrupt you there. I'm wrong. I've just been informed that in grand finals, it's only 1 half is played. Only 1 half is played per map. Meaning, if you bet on Wasp on Saloon.tf, this map was available to bet on. If you bet on Wasp, you will be winning, and more than likely you'll be winning one of my 10 keys that I bet on Galaxy Gang. So expect a salty cast from now on, as I have thrown my keys down the drain, and you guys can enjoy them from boxing or whatever shenanigans you go up to. So Nijoonen, that is Gullywash, that is Wasp taking the first map. Where does Galaxy Gang go on a map that we know Wasp are really good at? How do they approach this?
This is hard. If you could do some kind of midway bet now, I'd bet hard on Russians. Russians getting too confident, too cocky, too much momentum now, and basically trying to run their E-strats over and over again. Galaxy managing to shut it down. However, like, being reasonable, I'd say Samsung Galaxy Gang are very screaming Celt right now, and the chance of getting E-rushed when you're like up there swinging is kind of big. And as we didn't even speak about Wasp winning Gullywash first, we're all about Steel and how Steel was Wasp's chance to get some points. Neither of us, and absolutely not in that manner, 4-0 or well 4-1 after the DDoS. That was out of my picture, and I'm sure it was out of yours as well.
Yeah, I did not see that turnaround. After that first round, I expected it just to be more of the same, just the DM being taken by Galaxy Gang onto this. Just to clarify, though, because the way UGC works in this sort of division, at least in Platinum, is double elimination. What that means is you cannot lose, Galaxy Gang cannot lose the grand final tonight. If WASP win this map, they will have won the first best of 3. Because Galaxy Gang came from the upper bracket, they knocked out WASP in the upper bracket final. We'll just go over the brackets to explain, because it is slightly complicated for those who've never played sort of double elimination before.
But it's Gang, best of 3, best of 3.
Best of 3, best of 3, yeah. So if WASP do win this map, it will reset the bracket somewhat, and then we'll have another best of 3, I think, on Thursday, and then that will decide who wins. So Galaxy Gang can't lose the title tonight, WASP can't win it, but if WASP do win 2 out of 3 maps, we will see another best of 3 on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, Galaxy Gang coming into this undefeated, only a few rounds dropped, considering they dropped 6 rounds over the entire course of the season up until this point, and they just lost 4 in a row there on a map where I just thought they were just going to roll away with it, but it seems maybe, like you said earlier, they were a bit overconfident. They weren't expecting WASP to come back to them with as much. Who knows? But we will be seeing CP Steel now, which, as always, is a fun map to watch.
Yeah. I'd say the reason that happened, just to go back to Gullywash, I just really can't let go of it because it shouldn't have happened, is basically Samsung Galaxy Gang making mistakes, WASP taking advantage of them, WASP building up momentum, and WASP keep on rolling on the momentum, while Samsung Galaxy Gang just had to keep backing off over disadvantage, and boom, there you have 4-0 in like sub 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was really well played by them, and it just seemed tactically they had the edge over Galaxy Gang for the latter half of that. Sorry, I'm struggling to cast here as I wipe away the tears from my eyes. 10 keys, Nijoonen. Jeez, and sounds like John has lost a bud as well. So the BlackOut Gaming TV staff are providing you with your winnings tonight. Yeah, you're bankrupting us, guys. Jeez. So Steel, WASP, we talked about earlier, very, very good at this map. Although my team did pick up a win against them earlier, and, you know, a little bit of inside info, they do go for the AE cap. We saw Russia do it against Ukraine. They did it in, I think it was a record time for a Nations Cup match. Something ridiculous, like 1 minute 30, I can't remember exactly. But it was insanely fast, and WASP we've seen do it during the Premiership season. WASP did it against Stacked, did it to great effect. This is a map that they've chosen. This is a map they've got experience on. I mean, if you're Galaxy Gang, how do you approach this? Do you just have confidence in your abilities, or are you just thinking, hell, let's just lose this and just pick it up again on Thursday, you know, for the next best of 3?
Kind of hard to say. I'd say they want revenge, but they are aware that this is home ground for WASP. And like it's really a strange thing with basically everyone playing competitive TF2 knowing that the Russians love Steel and they love AE, and still it's so hard to do anything about it. And it's just frustrating. We're probably gonna see it happen at least once here, with it being somewhat successful. And what you can do basically to go into a little bit of depth about it is what you do as you defend. You have your center in general on B, together with your combo, and you have things like a spy and a scout watching from the AE connector. As soon as they hear or see something on the AE connector, your combo is supposed to rotate either through the C connector or through spawn, and using that spawn door you can see from E to basically hold lobby. The thing that the Russians do is that they are aggressive and fearless, so they run through with like a pyro or something to get like stick traps away or something like that, and then they just get some kind of strange hold in lobby and basically splitting the opposing team up into some people staying at B defending, some people panicking and going to E and try to block and hold the lobby, and from that they just benefit through having like heals spread out and sort of control and sitting in the front seat. And by holding the lobby, they can basically drive Steel in whatever direction they want. If they want to go for E, or if they want to rotate back to B before the rotations manage to get through the spawn doors.
Absolutely, and just looking at this this map for anyone who's not totally familiar with it, blue team is WASP at the moment, red team is Galaxy Gang. WASP will be trying to capture as many points up into the E point. If they capture the E point, the round is won, and once that happens, the teams will swap over, and we'll see Galaxy Gang trying to beat that time. And we're seeing an aggressive hold here. It's kind of semi-aggressive from Galaxy Gang. They do have a defensive sentry from Mint held back on this area, but generally we see here teams give up the A point. It's not really too much you can do to defend that realistically. Put all of your resources on A and try, onto B and try to defend from E as well. And just looking at the moment, we are seeing a lot of people for WASP at this A point, and looks like they're going to take this level 3, their Uber, and their entire team onto the E point, just as we were expecting earlier. And I'm sure Kisakala's just told his team that, and immediately we're seeing the rotation from Galaxy Gang.
Too slow, way too slow.
Oh, and the drop from Solid gets the headshot onto Klefsas. WASP drop their Uber, and that is just going to totally shut down whatever plans they had in mind for that E point. Galaxy Gang are in their spawn, sorry.
However, this is big. Morg is watching the spawn door from the best positioning we can have on Steel. Watching that spawn door, causing they can't go out from that spawn door now, because they're not going to be able to get Morg there. And Klefs is back up, healing the heavy. They have the lobby. Atomic Breakfast and Spray are basically stuck in the C connector, which is an easy place to lock down, especially when you have a sentry that's wrangled spamming into that specific corridor. This is, except that medic being dropped, this is perfectly executed by WASP. You can't do it any better than that.
Anti-2 getting aggressive, trying to put some time on, some pressure on the combo. Morg there with the headshot onto Kisakala. Like you said, Bugzer there's got his stickies on that door as well. But even if they do open the door and get out of it, they're just going to get... oh, and Costo gets the backstab!
Oh, Costo.
Oh. 2 drops now so far in this game as well. ×3 on the point for WASP, although the Pyro there, Crow, falls into the pit. And this is desperate times now for both teams. Uber advantage in the hand of Klefstaff, 70%. But the level 3 has been moved by Mint onto the connector, BE connector. He's spamming that point with his sentry. But so many players down for Galaxy Gang. ×2 on the point. They need to get their spawns. They need to do something really, really effective here.
Breakfast down. Cost still, and then who gets the sentry gun. This is so good by the Russians. I don't understand how they can be so good at this. They shouldn't be this good at it. Sticks getting up by bugs on the spawners as well. Morg still watching it. Morg getting solid.
Anti-2 falls into the pit there, pushed in by Steve, but ×3 on the point, Crow, and ×5 on the point. That pain train used by Trox. Sprayer gets the crossbow kill. Big jump in from Mr. Epic. Takes down
Morg
2 players and stops that, but then he gets headshot. Morg is still in that window, Nijoonen, that you were talking about earlier, and he is getting shots. He is landing shots onto Sprayer. Finally, Atomic is up there. Is he going to get melee to death? Finally, Morg goes down. Kill streak over for him.
Or that was Bugs and Morg not being able to watch the door when both of them were looking, and the soldier, Mr. Epic, managed to get out of the door. He shouldn't manage to get out of the door. However, Wasp doing the safe and clever thing here, going to a more or less open B now, whilst keeping someone at E distracting. Once again, so clever by Wasp.
Oh, Nesh wins the fight between Kisakala, and finally gets taken down there by Mr. Epic, who also falls into the pits. Yeah, I mean, this is what this map is all about, isn't it? Just pressuring multiple points, causing the defending team to spread their resources all over the place. Now we've got Bugser on the point, on E. He's getting healed by his teammates until C point is capped. There's no other players that really can get onto that point other than the demo soldier, scout, and the pyro if they're running something that they can jump with, or the power jack. But again, the Uber comes out, and the Atomic falls into the pit, and so does Mr. Epic. And ×5 on the point. Looks like WASP are actually going to win this. 4:04. Cap time not found. Sorry, no. 4 minutes and 4 seconds for WASP.
Galaxy should be very happy with that. Keep in mind, that's with first of all, Russian medic dropping to solid early on, causing them still manage to get the lobby, which is very good job because Klefsas got down way early as well. They didn't have the lobby when he went down. They just lost, and it was poorly played, and a very, very poor rotation from Samsung Galaxy Gang. And the one you should probably blame for that is Kisakala or whoever the spy is, Tutorial, for not calling it. Well, could be the combo being slow as well, but I put my money on a bad call from the flank watching that. And then they also just place it to perfection, basically. Minor screw up there by Bugs and Morg not being able to watch the door, causing Epic to block it and basically buying 1.5 minutes for his team just by getting out of that door. But overall, very, very strong performance from WASP, even though 2 big screw-ups caused it to not be a sub-2 minute time.
I'm not sure how this works in the case of the grand final. As we don't have halves, I'm not sure if this is a best of 1 or a best of 3. But if it is a best of 1, that means if Galaxy Gang don't cap within the remaining 3 minutes 35 seconds, WASP will have won this best of 3 and will advance to a second best of 3 on Thursday to decide who wins the title. And we're seeing a lot of pressure. There's a lot of combo players were holding the AE connector, and there's just so much pressure straight away onto the people. Big jump from Atomic, jumps, gets so much damage onto the sentry, gets it taken down there by the direct here. Anti-2 gets his headshot there by Solid, and this is looking just pure aggression coming out of Galaxy Gang now. They have got total control of this B point, and with the heavy sniper demo pyro down for WASP, it's going to be really hard for them to hold that connector. Nijoonen, I mean, what do you do now if you're WASP? Do you focus your defense on E or C?
Nah, E for sure. That C connector is too dangerous. Do you probably want C enough to be able to contest contender from C, which they're doing now? Once again, really good place.
Yeah, we're seeing the pain train again on the soldier. It's Mr. Epic this time. And they got /4 on that E point, but it gets destroyed there.
Winning the C
kills from
connector defense, there's everything. Yeah, that's winning C connector gives them a sprayer, atomic, and breakfast is over D though.
Steve comes in and then gets destroyed there by Anti-2 and their defenses, and the jump down from Tutorial takes down Klefsas. Oh my word! Drop there from Klefsas, second in this game, and then they just come in and wipe the rest of the WASP team. Few players left alive for them. They're trying to restart that cap. 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Morg is in a really good position again, but gets destroyed by the direct here. And this is looking good for Galaxy.
Though. Yeah, this cap time, the speed loss is very, very hard and slow to cap. But so this time, like, it's still not over. They have time to rotate around. However, ×5 makes it go way faster.
Yeah, it's popped here from Spray. They're trying to block off the spawns at D and E, and they're rotating through to White Room. I think that's where... Oh, and Tutorial's behind, and then body shot from Solid. Takes down Klefsas, and that is Galaxy Gang taking this round of steel. I'm not sure if that's GG or good round or what. But I will have to find out from people, but holy hell, that must have been a 1 minute time? 1 minute something time?
Yeah, 140 I believe. And that was not even an AE, that was ABE, which is more of a, like, how rounds usually end out, but with slower times. You usually don't do ABE that fast. You usually, like, get it after a while, after, like, flanking from C and contesting A lobby and all that Chile do, going around basically the whole map. But that was, like, really fast. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what happened that made it work. Well, Tutorial dropping Klefsas and Demo, whilst the Heavy going down to someone else at the same time, of course made a big difference, and it's kind of... But it's hard to pinpoint exactly. Solid afterplay from Samsung after they sort of got E-control, locking down the spawns. That's simple experience talking, that they prioritize locking down the spawn doors and then focusing the ×5 on the cap. Because in the beginning you saw it was like ×1, ×2, then it was a little bit of a break at the whole capping thing, while the combo managed to lock down the spawn doors. Then boom, as soon as the spawn doors are locked down you get ×5 on the cap, and there you have a fast time. But it's hard to say what WASP did wrong, except the Tutorial doing a big play and dropping the medic and basically getting the whole combo killed.
Yeah, I mean that was a big play to maybe assist in there, but it did seem Galaxy Gang had good aggression. They had the right idea, and yeah, I mean what you were saying earlier, it was an ABE. Once you've capped more points, the final point captures quicker. I'm not sure of the specific details, but once you've capped, A, it takes less time to cap E. Once you've capped B, it takes even less time. But that was a best of one union. That was a best of one, meaning Galaxy Gang take the second map 1-0. So both of these teams taking the maps the other team picked. And we are going to see a decider map, which is decided by UGC, and they've decided King of the Hill Viaduct is the best map to go for. So this map decides tonight. I mean, if Galaxy Gang take this map, then they are champions of UGC Platinum. They'll take one map loss on their record, but they will be champions of Season 16. But if WASP win this, then it resets the bracket, and it means that we will be moving on to another best of 3 on Thursday, and WASP will be trying at the third time of asking to see if they can get first place. Otherwise, they will be resigned to second place for the third time in their history. Who do you see as having the advantage on this map? Nijoonen, I mean, we talked about the DM of Galaxy Gang, but when you've got players like Morg, on WASP, who's known as being one of the best snipers in Europe at the moment, surely that's going to be a bonus for you.
True. Whilst without pointing any fingers, but I think Solid is sniping. Solid is a great spy and a good sniper, no doubt. But he is not at the same level as Morg. So the big advantage for WASP is simply Morg, and I think Crocs on Soldier really edged over Mr. Epic, and Viaduct. Those maps were experience, and lots of experience can talk over deathmatching skills, I'd say. So that really favors Crocs as well. However, the big man to watch out here is Sprayer and Atomic, who I'm pretty sure are gonna run like 75% crits at least. And Atomic is very, very, very good at playing crit streak on Viaduct. Completely decimating Team Sweden as well. Once again, one of those scenarios where we kind of see it coming, and yet you get crits every time they get fully charged crit streak. So I'm calling a fast 3-0 to Samsung Galaxy Gang here, with Atomic providing some of the best logs that UGC ever seen.
That's a big call out. But yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. I'm going to expect to see a lot of heals being pumped into Atomic. Definitely crits coming out of him from Sprayer. Sorry. Be interesting to see how Breakfast plays around that. He obviously gets a lot of heals on Chess Club, or did when he played for Chess Club as a heavy. But it looks like we are live now. So this is the final and deciding map of today's best of 3 Platinum Grand Final European Division. Samsung Galaxy Gang are in the blue, WASP in the red, and just like you said there, we've got Uber coming out of Clefsas, but definitely Chris Krieg coming out of Sprayer. And so far it's very passive from both teams, no one really daring to cross the midpoint, but Atomic getting a big pick onto Clefsas there with the stick. He's just walking across the point unopposed, and with no heals now, WASP need to desperately try and get that medic before the crits comes out. 88% on Sprayer. And the headshot from Morg takes down Breakfast. Big pick. And this is a pretty even mid fight. I mean, we're just waiting for the crits now, aren't we? And the crits come out. Sorry. Oh, and Albert then takes down Sprayer. I don't know where he was, but I think it was a long range shotgun after the jump in from Trox. But the point is yet to be capped. I mean, WASP are getting time on the point now, but it's taken a lot of time after it was available for that cap to go down, and the first cap will be for WASP. So we see that time ticking down now.
Indeed, and this is going to be remotely even as well, the crit streak and the Uber, because Cletus had a slight advantage, but of course being on Uber charge is slower than the crit streak. More gets Kiss Call as well, not that big
jump in from Mr. Epic! Oh! He takes down Anti too, takes down the heavy, I don't know how. And Breakfast is just walking up. He's using the Natasha there, and he's getting heals from Spray. They are really aggressive on the other side. And then Natasha, I've been told, is very, very effective on King of the Hill. And Breakfast is using it, dealing out so much damage. Finally gets taken down by Trox. But Morg did get the headshot onto Atomic. That 86% crits isn't going to be used on any of the other players, I imagine. But the Uber is forced from WASP as they try to recapture this point. But it looks like they are going to retain a time advantage.
Yeah, foolish crits coming in out, Atomic.
Don't really, and Nesh then takes down Sprayer again, and there's not really much protection coming out of Galaxy Gang onto Sprayer when that crit is happening. I mean, WASP have lost a few players here. Galaxy Gang should be able to force something of a cap.
Kissa!
Big Kissa, Carla getting 3 kills, Bugs and Klefs as well.
And gonna get Morg as well. Kissa Kala, that's rarity. No, it isn't really, but that's very good.
Going huge there, and he's still going on, pressuring on that cliff with Steve. And yeah, that was just great play by the scout.
Yeah, and very good play from WASP when the critical was popped to basically suicide straight into the critical combo, which worked perfectly for them, which is also once again good coordination. They're listening to the calls that someone, I don't know who it is calling for them.
Nesh just walks forward, takes down Sprayer, and Sprayer's died again. He's died quite a few times now. Solid getting a few picks. But WASP are going to capture, and this time is just being chipped off by both teams. It's not really any really long holds here, it's just a little bit at a time, but WASP are retaining the advantage. 1 minute and 45 seconds to go in this first round for them. And Morg getting another big pick, taking down Atomic again. And
fully charged Uber versus a crits that's not going to be used anytime soon. Only at 50%. 1.5 minutes left. This is looking good for WASP, but they just need to not drop Klefsas here and not have Klefsas dropping lots of people to the crits creek, because this is going to be a crits for Uber. I can also guarantee you that Klefsas aren't going to use this Uber aggressive, which you shouldn't.
I mean, if you're Galaxy Gang, how do you approach this? Do you try to force the Uber first?
Yeah.
And then crits, or do you force the Uber with the crits and then follow up?
No,
but the crits is used straight away. They decided on that, and the Uber is traded straight away afterwards.
This works though. Sprayer got medpack, so he's remotely safe at the moment. This is just time being the problem. And Prox getting in on Sprayer. Sprayer on 3 HP. Atomic blocking the rocket that would have surely killed Sprayer. Big plays from Atomic. Don't know if it was on purpose or not. However, good try by Prox.
That big pipe was probably on purpose there. But WASP still have control of this point, and the Uber advantage is only about 15-20%. But no, it's not anymore! Sprayer gets gunned down by Costa with the revolver, and then Olber cleans up Atomic behind. I don't know what he's doing there so far forward. But big NG plays coming out of the WASP NG there. He's going to fight Mint, and he's going to lose out. But WASP still have this point, less than 20 seconds to go. If Galaxy Gang don't walk onto this point in the next 15 seconds, then the first round will go to WASP. They need to start throwing bodies forward now. That's exactly what they're doing. Atomic just holding that W, walking across, getting good spam down, but then Mr. Epic taken down by Nesh. Crow doing her best, trying to block that point with the air blast, but can't. The cap does go down. But the Uber comes out, and Klefsas has lost most of his team. Only person left alive is Nesh. He's going to walk forward.
Still doable if Ante2 gets his health up and can handle it. He can't.
It's quick fix out of Galaxy Gang here, and they're going to clean up the point.
WASP. That's very bad. They might have thrown that round away now.
And WASP have got so much time on the point. If they do capture that point, then they will win this round, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to stop them. And that
was purely by good plays by Bugster and the crowd there at the ending, because Ante2 and Klefsas really threw it away. There were like 3 people, the 2 of them together with Nesh, just walking into 5 or 6 Galaxy players, being like just watching them, damage on them, so throwing their lives away. However, it worked out in the end, and credits for WASP.
Yeah, Galaxy Gang again playing very passive. So much aggression coming out of Bugser. Gets forced back there by the scatter gun of Kisakala. We are seeing the same miniguns we saw before. We're seeing the Kritzkrieg coming out of Sprayer. We're seeing the Uber coming out of Klefsas. So Atomic is already getting aggressive, showing his intent. The Kritz is ready. but it's not being used. Bugs are getting taken down there by Breakfast, and Tutorial managing to get the backstab onto Anti-2. So no crits needed to capture this point, and Galaxy Gang have got the first round. Oh, but Trox comes in, huge drop. Coming out of Sprayer, Trox with 2 rockets, dropping that crit streak. Not much he could have done to keep himself alive, but no protection on that left-hand side there, and somehow so many players from Galaxy Gang died there. What happened?
The weird thing is that they saw Trox as well. That was not like the first Trox fired from there. He had shot like 4 or 5 rockets from that connector, and they were like looking at him, and then they let the rocket hit Sprayer and he died from full HP. Very strange, but nice play Trox, I guess.
You're actually seeing both spies, Tutorial and Coastal, bottom fragging at the moment. They've got so few points, but big Uber coming in here. Bugs are jumping all the way into the enemy team's house. He's straight to the medic! Pipe onto Sprayer! Takes him down! Bugs trades his life, but it's for the medic. That is huge. And Clefsar stays alive. He's got his heavy there, Anti-2 to protect him, and this is looking better and better for WASP as the time goes on. They are got a 30 second advantage on the time now, and a 30% advantage on the Ubers as well. Huge play there by Bugs, a huge play.
Indeed. Kind of unsung hero as well. He hasn't been doing any bad decisions, but few like big hero plays that big enough for us notes at least. But he's just a solid performance all games through. Coastal going in for the stab, however misses Sprayer but gets Breakfast, who's kind of stuck in a impossible choice there of either getting killed by the heavy or getting killed by the spy, and basically shows the later one.
Costa's actually on the cliff now, and Sprayer has only got Atomic on him, and he's going to come in behind, and he misses the stab or decides against it. But no, another drop from Sprayer. Morg with the headshot. You can hear the cries of the medic ringing out. He drops that crits, and the Uber comes out from WASP, essentially a free Uber, as Sprayer has yet to spawn. That headshot from Morg saving them again, and the time is just getting shorter and shorter for WASP. 1 minute and 5 seconds ticking over now. Still 2 minute 41 for Galaxy Gang, and they must be getting desperate at this point.
Surely, and this is tricky to handle Morg better, I'd say. Feels like Morg had been up in China all the time with that Machina, just like denying the right side for the Galaxy guys, the right side of mid for them completely, just being alive there. Gets Steve as well, Steve trying to hit a flare. Solid eventually gets the hit on Morgan, and sweet revenge together with that. 85% for CeeJaey together with Bugs on Cliff. This is a good starting point. Full crits from Sprayer. Can they get CeeJaey before they Uber in and get destroyed? No, they can't.
It's the quick fix coming out of Sprayer here. It is used, but it's not going to win against an Uber. It was that Tomislav from Anti-2 just gunning down Breakfast, and Galaxy Gang just lose so many players, but then in comes Mint. 2K takes down the heavy and the medic, and great plays there by the Swedish NG, but it does look like WASP are going to get the cap anyway.
Morgan Sprayer with a SIG headshot as well. That's bad.
I mean, that's the second kill in a row Morg's got onto Sprayer, and coming up to 20 seconds now, and I'm not sure what Samsung Galaxy Gang can do other than throw themselves onto the point and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's really hard with no heals either. With buffs it's doable, without really hard. Atomic big plays, eventually getting the heals as well. However, Atomic shouldn't be enough damage to win them the point. Steve going wild, this is what they need as well. Steve being aggressive.
Steve getting the reflect pipe onto Bugs there. And all that commotion, Clefsas went down there. Oh, but no, Sprayer then dies to Trox again. Trox is having so much freedom on that side of the connector, that left or right, depending on where you're looking at it. And he's actually closer to the spawn than he is his own team at the moment. He's behind. He's just getting random spam, jumping around with that black box, and just annoying them so much. He's doing so much work as the cap goes down there, and WASP are 2-0 up on this deciding map. For those of you just joining us, this is the third and final map of today's best of 3. Samsung Galaxy Gang in the blue, and WASP in the red. Galaxy Gang losing their map choice of CP Gullywash 4-1 to WASP. WASP then losing their map choice of CP Steel to Galaxy Gang. So we are 1 map each. But WASP here 2-0 up, and
Bugs
Galaxy
are
Gang
down
have got to
early.
change it up.
They don't care. Anti-2 going in. Breakfast getting revenge. Ah, this should be breakfast mid now. They are too close to breakfast. They're just gonna get swallowed by that strange festival again. And yeah, Bugs are losing early to Atomic. That's inexperienced talking, being too low to mid. And you don't really need to be fast mid as demo on Viaduct.
Spray did go down there. I'm not sure how it happened. Did you see?
No idea, to be honest.
I think he got body shot there by Sprayer. Sorry, by Morg with the Machina. But for the first time in a while, we've seen a cap go down first for Samsung Galaxy Gang.
Three players
is
on the
down.
Nexus,
Yeah.
Just purely good suicide from Samsung Galaxy Gang. However, I guess they traded too hard for... I don't know.
I mean, yeah, they're trading a lot of players, but then not having the players to defend the point, because then WASP are just walking up with no heals, but they've got the bodies to throw onto the point. And Galaxy Gang just don't seem to be in a position to defend that with the players they've used as suicides. Point in the favour of WASP at the moment, but there is 100% on Sprayer, and we'll see what he does with this now. He's used it onto big crit coming out of Atomic, takes down Crow, takes down Trox.
Not good enough picks though.
Not good enough though. They don't take down Klebsas, who's so weak.
Doesn't connect with the pipes. Bugs who does, however, and Atomic goes down and demo trade. Wasp should really win this again. The matter is, can he chase Sprayer down? They can.
Sorry to interrupt, but Alba just walks across the point using that shotgun as the NG and takes down Sprayer, and that is going to send him into a very, very long spawn queue as they have the point. And 90% Uber in the favour of WASP. Oh no, not anymore! Take that off. Sorry, it's not. It was the heavy. I got excited there. I saw the headshot come out from Solid. Oh, you got to take Oni. I'm getting too excited. What is going on here?
And it feels like they're trading so many players all the time, but so far it's like feels like benefiting WASP way more. It feels like they rarely lose their combo players.
Big jump in! Oh, Mr. Epic almost went epically huge there. Landed one rocket, and his second rocket landed just as Klebsas used that over, but a big force. But Bugs manages to get Sprayer. Yeah,
really good. It
was all looking so good until you lose your medic in that situation. Crow cleaning up with a few flares there. But again, Uber advantage in the hand of WASP, and they're in control of this round. They're in control of this map. Just a reminder, if they win this, they will win today's best of 3, and it will force a bracket reset so that we will be playing another best of 3 between these two teams on Thursday to decide the champions.
And that's the real deciding.
That's the real decider, yeah.
And I must say, WASP are looking good. This is more Samsung looking bad, to be honest. Classes goes down to tutorial though.
Oh, but Sprayer!
Samsung showed it, isn't over yet.
Oh. Sprayer goes down to Trox. I was just going to say, can you guess? It was either Trox or Morg. It was Trox again this time, just jumping in. Like, Galaxy Gang did so well. They walk across the point, they collected all those kills. The timing from tutorial as well to get the backstab. But then Trox is hiding somewhere, jumps in, and takes down the medic. And then once you've got no medic, and you've captured the point, he's not going to be up for a long time. And the heals are all from Klebsas. They've just allowed his team to walk forward and recapture that point, essentially for free.
Indeed, and this is a few players up for WASP, 9 players up for Samsung Galaxy Gang. No health on Steve, no ammo on Breakfast. Oh, still managed to get a point somehow. Just the player advantage, I guess. On to Morg, as long as Klebsas gets out here, he doesn't. Dies at like 80% something. Now this is looking sloppy from WASP. Sloppy from WASP, confident from some Galaxy Gang.
Yeah, this is a real aggressive hold here. Is quick fix coming out of Sprayer, 100%. Trox tries to jump in, does force him. That quick fix has been forced, and the heals aren't spread around. Breakfast does go down to Nesh. But that aggressive hold seemed to do the trick for the time being, and times are starting to equalize a little bit there. And the Uber advantage is going to be in the hands of Sprayer as he's using the quick fix, which builds quicker. So if he can keep his players up, keep the heals spread around, it can force WASP into a tricky situation. But we'll see. 35 seconds left on the clock now. They are in the lead time-wise, but WASP have got players and bodies all over the point. big headshot from Solid, takes down Bugzer.
Nesh is into the combo, getting forced. Atomic with like no ammo, there's nothing he can do to this. Breakfast getting lost.
Yeah, but Clefsas went down. Mr. Epic jumped in, I'm not sure if it was a drop or not, but he jumps in, takes down Clefsas as he was so close to his Uber, and they managed to recapture this point, and so many players down now for WASP, still 2 seconds in the respawn queue, and...
This is about maintaining health now for Samsung Galaxy. As long as Sprayer can keep Sprayers buffed, this should just be theirs by simply height advantage.
Yeah, big jumps in and suicides coming in from WASP. They do take down Breakfast there. Nesh getting a 3k so far. But with that 100% on the quick fix, they've dropped so many players.
They're inviting them back to this game. What are they doing? Just let Nesh run around.
Nesh just runs straight into Sprayer, hits him with a meat shot, dies just as he pops that quick fix. I don't think it was a drop. I think he died just as he popped it. Hadn't really got that health buff yet. But 10 seconds left now for WASP on this time. Samsung Galaxy Gang need to get on the point in the next 10 seconds, otherwise WASP will have won today's best of 3. Steve is getting forward and just trying to get some cap time, push people back. Big jump from Mr. Epic and lots of damage coming down. It looks like Galaxy Gang are going to settle this by capping the point now. They do take a round, and that is 2-1.
Yeah, so many questionable plays coming out there at the last like 30 seconds. Breakfast basically suiciding for a trade with nothing. Kisakala running into players. They did the opposite of what they were supposed to do, leaving Atomic alone with Sprayer, and that's not good enough if you have players rushing into your face.
I think we have lost camera feed, but me and Nijoonen are still here, so we can give you a little bit of a radio cast of what's going on. Solid there with a headshot onto Anti-2, taking down that heavy. And Galaxy Gang have got so many players alive and on that point. They forced WASP straight out of there. And we do have the Medigun, the first mid-fight we've seen Medigun being used by Sprayer. So Medigun in the hands of both teams. That's a tactical change-up different to what we were thinking at the start, Nijoonen. I mean, obviously the crits isn't working out, and they feel Medigun's just going to work out best for them. Maybe they're try-harding now. Maybe they're thinking, damn, we need to actually win this. Now, the Uber's forced from Clefsas, and Bugzer jumps in, and he forces the Uber, but surely Clefsas is going to get caught out here. He's juggled up into the air, takes a sticky, manages to surf it away, but the cap is still in the favour of WASP. Samsung Galaxy Gang, and players are dying here for WASP. They do have some in a forward position, but it's pretty much a DM fest on either side of the point. John is back with us, so we have got a camera feed for you now. You see there is ×2 on the point. That is Nesh desperately trying to capture the point. He does, but Tutorial gets the double backstab, takes on Clefsas and Anti-2. Bugzer gets cleaned up by Mint, and Galaxy Gang seem to have turned it up a couple of gears.
Indeed, this is looking more confident from them. I'd say what the Russians need to do now is basically get either a proper suicide on Sprayer as a big advantage, or simply building their own, or why not a combination of both. However, constantly getting Breakfast, that's sort of a good enough pick for them to just pressure this and get bad Uber force out of Sprayer, just in intention to block the point, then get back with their own Uber advantage.
Yeah, Sprayer has his Uber and he's just holding on his cliff.
Smart play from Nesh, getting on the point, getting cap time, forcing them to get forward to block it, and Uber goes up. Really smart play by Nesh.
Yeah, he seems to be doing a lot of that, just distracting and just sort of baiting them onto the point, forcing them to use that Uber to come in and block it. But they do clean up quite a few of the WASP players there. They are getting respawns now, so with that 100% Uber they'll be able to use it. But a big jump from Mr. Epic does get taken down by the reflect from Crow. So no forcing of the Uber there, but in the meantime Sprayer has managed to get up to 50%, and the Uber is used rather early, and they're just going to flood Breakfast. He goes down, and they may get the cap here. Looks like they've lost a player. No, that's just my eyes failing me. But WASP here have got all of their players alive and they've got the point.
Costly has stabbed away on Solid's Razorback as well in spawn while trying to spawn camp. Worth noticing for the trash talk sessions.
That's what you're here for, picking up all those little details for future trash talk. But Uber in the hands of big air shot there. Nesh just meat shotting Trox out of the sky. Mr. Epic out of the sky, but the Uber is used. But more importantly, it doesn't take down Clefsas. It does manage to escape with 56% intact. The Samsung Galaxy Gang in the lead now by quite some stretch, coming up to 35 seconds left on the clock. But again, we're seeing this kind of bunny hopping back and forth, where the Uber is being traded, and now WASP have the advantage. They're at 80-90%. Sprayer only reaching 50, and it looks like they're going to try and use this across the point to try and cap this. They do use it again very, very early, using it on Nesh to try and get forward. This is a really good idea, but they don't manage to get very many kills. Not very important ones anyway. And it looks like they're going to cap.
The cap here isn't good enough. They need to get a sprayer. Nesh is in on sprayer. Sprayer gets away with 14 HP though. Getting into the resub cabinet with a 95% Uber. Going up to this cliff, side together with Atomic, Steve, Kiskala. This
they do use the Uber very, very early.
Yeah, indeed.
But they use it on
a good spot behind them. Kostel gets breakfast, very good pick. Should always be good enough. Moore gets Epic, Bugs gets Kisakala. Clefsas goes down though, doesn't really matter. At least not this fight. Antitude doing a good job. Nesh is still alive, doing damage. Nesh has been playing really good. Steve comes in on the flank.
Oh, Mint just walks onto the point, takes his shotgun out and takes down Anti-2. Little bit of cap time needed. And Mr. Epic flies in, and that cap is going to be finished. They're going to tie it up here 2-2. So this round is going to decide a lot of things. We are one mapped each here. Samsung Galaxy Gang and WASP, one map each, and 2 rounds each on this Koth Viaduct. Whoever wins this round, well, if Samsung Galaxy Gang win it, they are Platinum European Champions of Highlander. If WASP win it, we'll be playing again on Thursday, so we'll see how it goes. Trox is the first casualty though. Solid rings out a headshot. Equal Ubers because both teams are using the same miniguns. And Solid and Kisakala combining there, taking down Bugser and Anti. And it looks like Galaxy Gang really have turned it on into a higher gear. And they're winning this mid-fight, and they're just looking in control now, Nijoonen.
Yeah, it's probably momentum and confidence building up. 2 rounds in a row, and while WASP are probably getting a little bit panicky. What did we do that worked? What's not been working the last rounds? And it's once again kind of hard to pinpoint. I don't think it's really Medigun related, except perhaps crits wasn't the way to go today for Galaxy Gang.
Yeah, and this is really smart from Galaxy Gang now. They're just holding on their cliff with the Uber, waiting for WASP to use it, and then they just clean up everyone, including Clefsas. Although Sprayer does go down late on in the fight. Trox again. I want to see how many med picks that guy's got by the end of this map. And they are going to have a nice, decent chunk of... oh no, Atomic is blocking the point. And they are going to have a time advantage of about a minute. But Uber advantage also in the hands of WASP. So Galaxy Gang under pressure to try and do something about Clefsas now. I mean, who do you think's excelling for Galaxy Gang that wasn't in the first couple of rounds? What's kind of, maybe not what's changed from the team, but what players are really sort of turning it on and just, going ham in this round?
I'd say Steve. Steve's getting more confident, taking more fights, which is what he should do.
Clefsas, did go down there. Atomic with the stickies.
It's basically Steve being aggressive, which has been like when Samsung Galaxy is winning, that's when Steve's going aggressive. Kind of clear pattern worked that way on Gullywash as well.
Nesh just used his W key, walked forward and took down Sprayer with a few meat shots. So both meds dying there within quite close range of each other. So Uber advantage though in the hands of Clefsas about 20%. They have overtaken Samsung Galaxy Gang in time. 1 minute 45 left on them for the clock till they win this round. The Galaxy Gang are just walking forward there. Like you said, Steve is just getting really aggressive. He's reflecting his rockets. He's just forcing people off the point. Does get body shot there by Morg. It does go down. And the cap's going to go down for Galaxy Gang, but I think WASP is just going to immediately take it back.
Bugser's suicide for a cap that he couldn't block. Kinda dumb considering their Clefsas is on fully charged crits and he isn't up yet. Very questionable play from Bugser. how they end up with the point, and Bugster will spawn in time for them to actually use these crits now, but still a bit too ruthless of a play.
This is the first change of Medigun we've seen from WASP so far today, using Medigun all the way through, and the crits does come out, takes down Steve, but nothing else goes down. Kisakala just himself doing a Nesh, walking forward and meat-shotting Clefsas to death, and so many players dying here for WASP that Samsung Galaxy Gang are going to take this point. They're not even going to use any of their Uber. They're going to get Uber, sorry, 90% now. And just looks like crits isn't working out for either of these teams. Maybe they're all too prepared for it, but they're just going to cap the point here. They're going to force the Uber just by capping the point.
I think Clefsas has today insane arrow on Bugster. Might have been wrong there, but Bugster was behind them for a long time, then come back in and survived somehow. Mint winning the flank against Trox, Mint getting behind them, this is dangerous as well. You don't want a Mina center behind you. Atomic goes down. Good damage.
Mint's on the medic, he's using his shotgun. Clefsas does go down eventually as Mr. Epic jumps in and takes him down, but like you said there, Mint just strategically behind them, doing really, really good work there. And Costil just finishes off with the revolver, takes down Breakfast as Bugs has stayed alive, just shooting pipes over that grate.
It's weird how this is the blocked. Crowd comes in, Trox doing a good job even though we ended up without circle or without kills. Crow's still on the point, denying Mr. Epic. Mina Center seems to do some kind of work. However, the point should be theirs now. Indeed it is. 15 seconds versus 1.5 minutes, though this is still looking a bit too good for WASP.
Both medics are going to start at the same, going to spawn at exactly the same time.
Quick fix versus Uber. I'd edge this now. This is a good pick from Clefsas and sticking with the Medigun here. This sort of safe option.
Sprayer will get his charge earlier than Clefsas, already at 50-60%. Clefsas down in 30, but WASP are they're just walking forward. There's no protection on the point. Tutorial comes in with the backstab, takes down 2 players. Great picks there from the spy, but Sprayer goes down. Guess who it was to? Nijoonen.
I didn't see.
It was Trox. It was Trox. Not Morg, it was Trox. Trox, I think, is about 5 or 6 med picks so far in this game. Galaxy Gang do have the point still, but there are a lot of players down. They are huge Uber disadvantage. 90% in the hands of Clefsas now.
Breakfast down.
They are going to try and cap this point. They are going to cap this point. 15 seconds left to go. WASP could win this best of 3 right here, right now. They've used the Uber. They're getting aggressive in main. Nesh is just taking most of it, walking forward. Atomic jumps in desperately, trying to do something. Samsung Galaxy Gang need to get onto this point, otherwise it is game over. And that is it. WASP take it 3 rounds to 2 on this deciding map. And the title hopes are still alive for WASP. That does not mean that they are champions. It means that we'll be having another best of 3 Nijoonen on Thursday, and whoever wins that will be champions. That is the first loss of the season coming on to Samsung Galaxy Gang. I mean, what went wrong there? I mean, not just talking about Viaduct, I'm talking about the whole best of 3. I mean, they lost Gullywash, a deathmatch based map essentially. You would have thought would have played into their strengths. They got capped on very quickly on Steel, and here they've lost out on Viaduct. I mean, what went wrong?
Yeah, it's like different things on different maps, I'd say. I'd say Gullywash got lots of the comp not being coordinated. I'd put the blame train on Breakfast there for once. He hasn't had the blame train ever, so he'll get one now. But combo and Gullywash, Steel was like just purely good play. If it's one map that was truly deserved for playing such good TF2, it was Steel, which was the map they ended up losing to just a normal but extremely fast push from Galaxy Gang. Hard to say. Viaduct was really even, but I really felt that the thing that edged it for WASP was the Medigun game. Clefsas didn't panic a bit like Sprayer did and then continuously swapped around the Mediguns. He kind of stuck on Medigun almost throughout the whole game, and that just gave them some kind of confidence. It felt like they know what they were doing with the Uber charge. And even though they lost Clefsas quite a lot, Sprayer still died more, I think, and felt like the logs might tell you otherwise.
Well, no, the logs do agree with you. Sprayer died 20 times to Clefsas 17, so there's only by a few, but he did die more.
Yeah,
I
and
was
that
told,
kind of even so.
just looking at WASP, they are all still in the server. They are lining up on the point, and they're all taunting. So they're obviously pretty pleased with themselves. So yeah, that will take us to another best of three on Thursday. Looking at the logs, you were talking about Atomic going huge with his logs. He did get 39 frags, did top damage with 15k. But the top fragger in the game ahead of him was Morg with 43. Been told in the first 2 rounds he only died 3 times. And if a sniper of that quality isn't getting pressured, then you're going to be under a lot of trouble with him just ringing out the headshots. Trox
Yeah, I
also
agree.
doing really well with 38 frags. I mean, for me, I think he was the player of the game. He was just, well, player of Viaduct at least. He was just in positions like juking on this side, jumping onto the enemy team side, picking up the health pack, jumping back and forth, jumping all the way around, just avoiding the flank and just causing havoc just by being alive. And the team knowing he was there, and then when it came to Uber exchanges, he would jump in when the Ubers were over, and Sprayer would go down almost every time.
Yeah,
Just trying to find
true.
out how many kills he got. Sorry, 5 med picks coming out of Trox, and Nesh got exactly the same. Both of them getting 5.
Yeah, I'd say like both Kiskala and Nesh had really good games. They did a lot, even though it felt like Nesh did way more. But logs kind of show that they did remotely the same, around 4 or 5 different in damage, with Nedge getting the better of it. It felt like Steve were really like lacking attention, so to speak, by Spray around the Ubers. I would have given Steve more like room to do what he needs to do, and that's basically get damaging kills. They can't return to the same problems that they experienced on Gullywash. They basically have 3 very competent people to get the Ubers, and it's end up being like a mix of Atomic and Breakfast. They should, I don't know, feels like that and sorted out if they really want to edge it, and I think that would have saved them perhaps the whole game. However, like the big thing in this game isn't really the mistakes made by Galaxy Gang. It's how good WASP played. They played throughout all 3 maps. They played good Highlander with very few big mistakes, and the things that like lost them some fights and so on was big plays from Galaxy Gang and not mistakes from their own players.
Yeah, it was a great teamwork showcase there from WASP as they've overcome the huge favourites, Galaxy Gang. I'm not sure what the odds were on Saloon, but they were heavily favouring Samsung Galaxy Gang the last time I checked. So yeah, I mean, third time of asking, WASP have finished second twice in their history in UGC Platinum. We're going to leave it there. Do you have any shout-outs before we disappear, Nijoonen?
Not really. Thanks for everyone who's watching and still being entertained by Highlander. It's really good to see that it's still attracting viewers and a remotely active Twitch chat. It's making it fun to play and fun to cast.
And thank you for being a very awesome co-caster. I really do love the insight. We were planning, guys, to move on to the Gold UGC Highlander Grand Finals, but apparently it's already finished. This game went on for longer than the hour that was allotted before the Gold Final started, and that game is already finished, so we will not be moving on to that action. Obviously, that game was finished much quicker than this one. But this has been Samsung Galaxy Gang versus WASP. Samsung Galaxy Gang picking CP Gullywash, WASP winning that map 4-1. Galaxy Gang winning WASP's pick of CP Steel 1-0. And the deciding map, Viaduct, was won 3-2 by WASP. Because WASP came from the lower bracket, that does mean we'll be having another best of 3 on Thursday. I'm sure we will try and cast that amidst all of the Nations Cup action. So please try and tune in. But for now, I've been CeeJaey. With me has been Nijoonen and John on the camera. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. Thank you to the players for giving us a great game, a really, really entertaining game. And we'll see you all next time.